Alrighty, yo, what is up, Knights? Just Rick here, bringing you guys episode 14 of the Arad Airways podcast. Now, guys, the first podcast that I made with 100 cap as the theme was back about 10 months ago. So it's almost been about a year since we've had 100 cap. It's kind of crazy. I haven't made more podcasts because a lot of stuff has been going on. I've made a couple since then, but guys, as I make this one, this is just after the release of Mount Exiles, where we farm our higher level talismans. I want to talk a little bit about my opinions on Mount Exiles. Other things I want to discuss in this podcast, guys, we just also got the first season, I guess, of the Battlepass. I want to give all my opinions on that because it's obviously going to have a little bit of controversy. Most cash shop items do. So I'll give my opinions on that. There was some literal controversy with some of their marketing wank that they did on that. But also I want to talk about a little bit about the content creator program. I did not apply this time, but we are in season 2 of it. And there's, again, some controversy there too. But honestly, guys, the thing I'm most worried about isn't really related to DFOG at all. It's actually in KDNF. They're getting a massive game-changing, meta-changing patch with the Aeterna gear, and I want to discuss that in this podcast as well. So those are the topics we'll cover, and let's just get into it. First and foremost, guys, Mount Exiles. Well, if you know what P-War is, you basically know what Mount Exiles is. P-War is where you farmed your talismans, and there used to be 2 talisman slots. They've increased that slot count to 3 now, so you now can get 3 talismans, and that's a permanent feature, and you can get that right away. So if you already have talismans ready to go from P-War, you have a 3rd talisman slot. Now you can use 3. But the nice thing about Mount Exiles is that not only do you get 2 new talisman skills, the higher level talisman skills, you also basically upgrade all of your previous talismans with stronger versions in the Mount Exiles. So it is something that is kind of outdating or outmoding P-War, but P-War is still relevant because you get runes, and those are applicable for both different types of talismans. There's a lot of nuances with this system. I know I'm just kind of very briefly going over it, but yeah, higher level talismans, you get 1 extra talisman slot. The runes are shared between the 2 dungeons, and you definitely want to farm Mount Exiles if you want the best in slot kind of upgrades to your skills. The thing about it is the Mount Exiles talismans are like marginally better than the P-War ones. You know, they'll probably give like, 10, maybe 15% more damage than the talismans already do. They still have the same number of slots. They can still be randomized slots. It's basically the same systems between the 2. One is just harder than the other, basically. That's kind of how 100 cap is, guys. I don't know if you guys realize this. I think it should become pretty obvious if you've played 100 cap at all, how marginal the increases are with every new content that gets released. I mean, you do Oculus, just get your Ditto, which makes you marginally stronger once you finish sets. You get your Sirocco set, which makes you, significantly stronger. We're farming things like this Mount Exile, which makes you marginally stronger. We're going to get this dungeon called the Black Purgatory, which makes you optimize your gear so you can be marginally stronger. And you're just kind of, the theme with 100 cap is you farm your epic set and you make that epic set marginally stronger on, like, repeatedly, ad nauseum. And it really, that kind of paints a picture as to why a lot of people's tempers have, I think, flared over the past year that we've had 100 cap. I mean, it doesn't take very long to get a full 100 set if you actually tried or if you had the resources to get it. And so this kind of slow burn method towards improving your gear for content that, quite frankly, is too easy. And that's another thing I want to mention when I talk about Mount Exile. But yeah, this kind of approach towards it is kind of why I feel like a lot of people are being impatient with 100 cap and starting to, treat DFO as a daily. But I don't really want to get into that. Let's talk a little bit about Mount Exiles and what I think of it. I think the dungeon itself was interesting the first time I did it. And the way I felt about it was the same way I felt about Oculus, where I was like, yeah, Oculus is awesome. Oculus has this cool music. It has this interesting boss mechanic, where you have the option to skip the boss once you get really strong, or you can do it properly, and all of these. It's an interesting dungeon that you kind of have to know how to run. And, at the start of the cap, it was when not a lot of us had full epic sets, and it was a little bit challenging at the start. But, nowadays, you look at it and you are way, way too strong for even skipping every single possible thing in when we're talking about Oculus, just skip everything, and you're way too strong for it, and it's just, that's how much the marginal increase of these epic sets are getting, especially if you start getting Sirocco graduated. Mount Exiles came out, right? And that same exact thing happened, okay? It came out, and we were just too strong. Unlike Oculus, when it came out, and you had the potential to struggle through it if, you didn't have a full epic set, that's not the case anymore. We've had 100 cap for a year, guys. So any new content that comes out, Mount Exiles included, is just going to be outdated instantaneously. I had struggled for one day, as I just completely didn't even research this at all because I knew how brain dead easy it was going to be. Went in there, struggled for one day, died a few times, and then look, day 2, we went in there like we've been in there for all year, We are dominating this dungeon, and it's something I brought up. I made a podcast. The one thing I said, that the criticism I had against 100 cap is the same one that is rearing its head today, and it's my biggest complaint, and that is the damage scaling. The thing I said about that back then was, hey man, why are we getting so freaking strong? Why are we marginally increasing our strength so high, to this high degree? I have no idea why, because how can you possibly release content that will be challenging for us anymore? That's the problem. All content before the 100 cap content is piss easy. Now the new content that you release is piss easy. It's just like absurd how strong this set is. You can't possibly balance content around it, especially the variance between the strong and weak sets. You can be a lot stronger than the weakest epic sets. But that's besides the point. The point here is, guys, we do too much damage, and how do you balance content around this much damage? I don't know how you do it, especially when you keep giving us new systems, 3As, new systems that give us more damage. Mount Exiles came out, and it was dead on arrival. I'm just going to say it straight up. Routine on arrival. If it didn't give good rewards, if it didn't give worthwhile rewards, I dare say it would turn into another dark dimension. Like, people wouldn't even do it, right? It's the only reason people do it. I guess it makes sense. Most content is like that, but fact of the matter is, it's just too easy. And I don't know what they can do about it. We're too far into 100 cap to really solve that issue, but it's something I just want to say. I brought up a long time ago, back when we started 100 cap. I'm like, dude, what's going to happen to the old content? What about new content? And the way I see it, it's, people are hyping up Ozma raid, because that's going to be, it's not unheard of to have 2 raids and 1 level cap, but man, Ozma raids has got to be like really hard, it has to go in with the assumption that we have already geared to this level, right? We've already graduated Sirocco, optimized our talismans. We're going to optimize our gear once the Dark Purgatory comes out. I'll talk about that at a later time, but when that comes out, we got to optimize our gear then, and then we're expected to do Ozma raid. Is it going to get hard then? I really don't know, guys, and maybe it's because it's conflicting with the 3A, but that's kind of how I felt about most of the content in 100 cap, in DFO in general. I feel like the game has been really easy, and that's why a lot of people are on edge, and a lot of people are finding an excuse to be really mad at the game and dislike the game and say dead game memes all over again. That's kind of my biggest complaint, but I've said it from the start that, hey man, DFO's getting way too easy. Way too easy. I will actually never forget the challenges that I had during Prey Raid, and conquering Prey Raid was so satisfying. Despite all of the linear homework nature of getting the gear, it was so satisfying actually clearing that very hard content, and I don't feel the same way about hardly anything in 100 cap yet. So maybe they can bring that spark back in terms of the challenge, but Mount Exiles was a perfect example of content that was dead on arrival. So they really got to work on that aspect of it, I feel. And I honestly don't know if it's possible in 100 cap. So that's what I feel about Mount Exiles. Yeah, it has a few gimmicks, but if you're strong, or if you're strong enough to do it, which you should be, I think you have to be green level Sirocco ready. And if you have at least one party member that's a little bit above that, it's pretty much going to be brain dead easy, and it is a shame, really. But anyway, I kind of use that as a springboard to rant about something else. But anyway, guys, about the talismans themselves, I am a fan of the fact that you can get stronger talismans. I am not very happy about some of the changes that they made to the talismans. I feel like they could have made some of them better or stronger. Really, they just went very flat line across the board. Just, oh, here's 10 damage, 5% damage. I haven't seen one yet that has been drastically different between the Pandemonium version and the Mount Exiles version. Maybe you guys will let me know if your class has one, but mine pretty much just looks like it's more damage, and that's about it. So would have been cool to see some more unique effects, but you know, even that marginal increase is kind of a big deal. You look at the Satyr ones, their new talismans are going to be huge percentage increase. We're talking 8% talismans. You get both of those, you just start stacking way more raw stats than you normally do. Those talismans are going to be serious. So yeah, definitely not optional here in 100 cap. Something that you're going to do. It has to be routine, and hopefully you guys are farming that because it's super important. Anyway guys, moving on to the next topic of discussion, the Arad Battle Pass. Okay, this one is everybody's gonna have an opinion, right? Everybody's always gonna have an opinion. The weird thing is, I remember when the VIP system came out, and I was waiting in the wings, like, oh God, where's gonna be the raging freaking mob of people with pitchforks and everything, and they never came. You know, when the VIP came out, they're like, yeah, whatever, 10% increase across your account, whatever. Nobody cared. Now, the Battle Pass is definitely a lot more valuable than the VIP, and there are different tiers of it. So just to kind of recap what it is, basically they're going to be having the same system that gacha games have, is this, you know, seasonal pass, and usually lasts about a month. In this case, it's going to last for 3 months, so it's 90 days straight. And you have different tiers of rewards. Free-to-play players get access to the season pass, but they have their own singular tier. If you pay $15, you have access to a secondary tier on top of that free-to-play tier, which has more and, of course, better items in it. Some exclusive, some very, very useful ones like Silver Grimoire and stuff like that, which are obviously going to be really worth the price of admission. I mean, there's a lot of items in there, but if you just do the breakdown, $15 for the items that you get out of it, if you do earn it, that is kind of the thing. You don't just get it directly. You do have to earn it within these 90 days. But if you do manage to do that, oh my gosh, it is such a good value. And, you know, it's something that is exclusive only to people who buy it. So yeah, it's something that everybody's always going to say, pay to win, but it is definitely valuable. And trust me, $15 is a low amount of money in terms of the pay to win aspect. You know, the buy-in price is so cheap compared to other pay to win stuff that we have gotten. You know, I think it's something that barrier of entry shouldn't be that big, and I do think it is definitely worth it if you're the kind of person who cares about that stuff. But even if you don't, if you're a free-to-play player, the free tier has a bunch of nice items in it as well. You know, you actually get the best in slot title, or at least stats that are comparable to the best in slot damage title that you can get, and that's accessible to anybody in the server if you have the dedication to get that battle pass up. It's going to be a little bit easier for those of you guys who have the $15 tier, but of course it's going to be accessible to everybody. So again, that is one of those really, really, really valuable items that they're just giving away. So, but that's not the end of it. With the $30 Royal Pass, you get access to the title as well as the best in slot creature, or a best in slot creature, as well as all these other perks. For instance, you get access to basically VIP on that character. You do have to choose one character. You can change it one time throughout the period. But you get to choose one character. They get free raid entries. They get all kinds of buffs in town and stuff like that. They get you know, reduced cost on hell mode. They get all kinds of stuff. And this is $15 extra that you get this. You get like an avatar set. One thing I didn't even know you got until I opened it was you get an epic weapon of your choice for the whole 90-day period. Plus 10 epic weapon of your choice, level 100 cap. So that's crazy because this is something that is very, you know, these are all items that I obviously already have on most of my characters. But if you're like new to the game, or if you're just starting out, dude, these are invaluable to get all of these useful, you know, swap your creature, your title, everything, your weapon, all off the bat for $15. Oh my God. Now the caveat here is that they are not permanent items. Okay, all those items I mentioned, those really useful ones, are not permanent. They only last for the season, so they only last for the 90 days. But even then, you know, all of the other perks I talked about are no slouch either. You know, I'm talking, you know, you're getting free raid entry. You know, you get all of these other things that also make it worthwhile. So honestly, guys, you do the breakdown, either the low tier 15 or the pay to win $30. Both of them are worth the $15 price of admission. You get so many good items out of it. I guess that's about how the Battle Pass works, guys. So hopefully I was able to explain that clearly. The reason that there is controversy is because of the advertising on the Royal Pass. Okay, that is the $30 pass. You basically get access to this creature, which is the best in slot creature, and you have a ticket that can make that creature permanent. Now, the thing that should be noted about it, and the thing that wasn't made crystal clear, in fact, it was quite vague about how it would work, but that's really where the controversy is that vagueness, is that the permanent creature ticket does not retain the stats of the best in slot creature. It actually only retains the creature aesthetics, is the only thing that the Battle Pass is granting you. So there is an exclusive creature. It kind of looks like this, I don't know, sailor girl. You can make this creature permanent, but you don't get to keep the stats. Those also expire with everything else after the Battle Pass season is over. So yes, you do get a permanent ticket, but you don't get to keep that pet. And that is where the controversy is, because a lot of people feel like they were bamboozled, right? Like they waited until people bought the Battle Pass and then said, oh shit, we didn't mean it like that, guys. And now, if I'm being honest with you guys, I truly don't think Neopol was trying to pull a fast one on you guys, okay? But I do feel like there are some people that might have gotten baited by that small aspect of it. And the reason I'd say they're not trying to pull a fast one is because they made an entire webpage trying their best to outline every single thing about the Battle Pass. They were very descriptive about a lot of different things. It's just this one aspect that they kind of overlooked. The real reason why I think people are mad is because there was confirmations that were made on it. There were people that would ask the CAs, and then the CAs came back and said, yes, you can keep a permanent pet, and they had to go double back on what they said. So now there's like misinformation out there and people are getting baited and, so that's kind of where it is right now. The one thing I do want to mention about them misleading people on the webpage is this was very reminiscent of the Pro Aradian event. I don't know if you guys remember that. This was a couple years back, several years back in 90 cap, where they had the Pro Aradian event. And, they kind of had a similar issue, except back then they had a whole bunch of white knights that were saying, oh, well, of course, that's what they meant, like they knew the full intention the whole time. The difference there was it didn't cost any money to do the Pro Radian event, but it sure as hell cost a lot of time. It wasted a whole bunch of time. The whole time I thought I was going to win because that's what the event page said, or, I had a chance of winning. I could have won. And that vagueness punished me, and I wasted all this time for nothing with no chance in hell of ever actually being able to clear the event because they decided to be so vague. So this is very reminiscent of that, because they've been vague here in this situation. Except this time people demanded they know the truth right away, and they did get that out right away. So if they've learned anything from the Pro Radian is demand the truth right away. If there is some kind of discrepancy between what's on the website or any ambiguity, I think we have been a lot better as a community to get the truth and get the answers quickly. And I think Neopol has responded in an appropriate way. CAAs has already come out and said they're going to do an official announcement on that. I haven't actually seen it or what it is, but fact of the matter is they have already clarified that, so you don't have to worry about the truth of the matter. You do not, I repeat, do not get the pet with the stats permanently. You only get the cosmetic effect, and this pet actually doesn't have any stats on it at all. So again, confirmed. But even aside from that, guys, I really have nothing much else to say about the Battle Pass. I pretty much support it. I really like the concept of Battle Passes. This is kind of the thing, is that, there's been a lot of events that have been not worth my time. There have been a lot of sales that I don't care about the items in it, events that I don't care about the items in it. But the Battle Pass is this thing that has a lot of useful items in it that also incentivizes me to actually sign in and play the game. And that's kind of, 100 cap, and kind of why I wanted to talk about the sentiment about 100 cap as is because boy, let me tell you, there is a lot of excuses you can make about why you shouldn't play DFO right now. I don't know who changed hands where they decided, you know what, let's make events shitty and not worth your time. But over and over and over again, they keep making events that are not worth your time, that are not worth signing in, or you just complete them in one day and it's over with. It's just, you know, bad direction. But I've complained about this ad nauseum, so I'm not going to again. You know, if you're already 100 grad, what are you going to do aside from Sirocco raid and the newly released Mount Exile and all of these marginal things? Well, the Battle Pass gives you that excuse, and I really do feel it does give me that excuse because it gives me access to a lot of things and it rewards me for actually signing in. So I do appreciate that. It is a feature that I really like about phone games, honestly. It's a reason to get somebody into the game and to do the content in the game. And maybe you might do content that you normally wouldn't do if just for the sake of getting a Battle Pass. I really do like that. I've actually always praised systems like that kind of incentivize you to do something you might not. This is also why I always say that the taxi event in DFO has, bar none, been the best event DFO's ever done. But aside from that, guys, I do like the Battle Pass for that reason alone. And again, you guys can debate back and forth whether or not it's pay to win. But that's kind of how I feel on it. Now, guys, I want to give a few words about the Content Creator Season 2. We do have a list of those people. Congratulations to you guys who were selected. And I hear this time around there was a lot of applications, over 100-something applications. And, you know, I think they only managed to pick up 7 or 8 of them. So a lot of people got rejected, a lot of people salty, as to be expected. And I think the controversy kind of lies in the idea that the selection process is not known. A lot of people think there's a lot of quid pro quo going on. You know, it's not how good you are, it's about who you know and stuff like that. That's how the selection process is. I don't know the truth of the matter, guys. I really, really don't care, to be honest. I don't care, to be honest, mostly because I always feel like, and I said this from the very start, the one thing I hate about these types of programs is that they're creating an incentive that I don't think is healthy for the person who is an aspiring content creator, okay? It creates the wrong mindset. It creates a mindset that I only want to be a content creator because I'm being rewarded for it. And it really is the wrong mindset of it. I've seen other problems with it as well. You know, for those people who get accepted, they're already put on blast, put on a pedestal. They're going to be, you know, attacked and ridiculed right off the bat just for the decision that was made. You're going to be walking on eggshells trying not to slip up on a group of people that might not be happy with the fact that you got it or not. So you're already at a disadvantage. For the people that didn't get it, I think you're going to be put into the wrong mindset. You're going to be dissuaded by the sheer fact that you didn't get it, or you don't think you're good enough, so you're not even going to bother trying. You know, both of those things are very, very unhealthy, and they were only created because of the content creator program. You know, I didn't have to deal with any of that bullshit. I just did it. I just made content, bro. It's unnecessarily putting people in the wrong mindset of somebody who's going to be successful as a content creator. You know, I've always felt that way. I said, man, it might sound like it's going to be awesome if you were accepted and you would be able to be a great content creator if only they accepted me. No, I'm here to tell you guys, you've got it all wrong, okay? Your whole mindset to it is all wrong. You should have been trying to be a content creator well before there was ever any incentive to be one. And if that was the case, then I feel like so many more people would be less disappointed with not getting accepted or whatever the case is. So that's kind of what's going on. A little bit of people that are not satisfied with the result or the fact that they didn't get in. I'm here to tell you guys, if you actually cared about content creator, then you would not have that be the only criteria as to whether or not you make it. Okay, so that's kind of the thing. I mean, I guess you could say I can speak from experience. That's the ticket. That's the winning ticket. I'm telling you right now. I'm not trying to say this harshly, but I'm trying to say it's not as big a deal as you think it is. It really isn't. It is not as big a deal as you think it is. And hopefully you guys realize that before you guys start tearing yourselves down. Make content because you want to make content, not because you're getting rewarded for it. That's the goal. And for those of you guys who became content creators or are officially content creators, I guess you just got to live up to those expectations, and hopefully they're not too high for you. For those of you guys who didn't, well, hopefully you keep at it, because like I said, it shouldn't be what motivates you. But anyway, guys, let's move away from DFOG. I want to talk about, for my last subject, I want to talk about KDNF and the updates that they are getting, because this is a big thing that I think is getting a little bit overshadowed or overlooked, or people are not completely honing in on. But I think this is the biggest thing that is coming to DFO potentially. I don't know if it's actually official yet, but this could be so game changing, so meta changing, and really just change the entire landscape of DFO in a bad way, in my opinion. But let me explain what I'm talking about here first. In Korea, they are going to be copying a system that has existed in CDNF. It's a dungeon region where it's kind of unique. It is a new dungeon region, and you go to these various dungeons, and there's this whole map system and all. It's a whole entire system, right? But why you farm these dungeons is you get these materials, and after a certain amount of time, you can craft yourself. You're actually literally crafting yourself this Aeterna set, okay? And you know, there's a lot of nuances to it, like you have to keep upgrading this Aeterna set to get to the maximum effect. But at the end of it, you know, all of this kind of BS to kind of get your gear set. And what it is a synergy set. It is a synergy aura set. Now, we have had aura sets in the past in DFO. In fact, they've almost always been very useful effects. You know, I'm thinking back to the times of Tactical Leader in 85 cap. On 90 cap, we had Metal Line set and stuff like that, where you just wear it and you provide this aura effect for your party. And, you know, it's so freaking good because you're basically multiplying the effectiveness of that one aura effect to everyone else in the party. You know, you're buffing up your whole party. It's another effect on top of the other buffs that you might provide if you're a synergy character to kind of complement on top of their synergistic buffs that they already give. So yeah, this is a synergy effect that has aura effects on it, and this is nothing new to DFO. We've had it before. Hell, the level 100 legendaries, the bloody set, actually gives an aura effect, which is also, again, pretty dang strong. But the thing is, guys, this aura set is different than all of the other ones beforehand. All the other ones that I mentioned, you know, Tactical Leader, Metal Line, and stuff, they were still viable on their own, right? They were good, strong sets on their own. These sets are different, okay? These sets are really strong only when you're in a solo party, okay? They make it into an actual DPS set when you're solo, running solo content. And so if you have this set on your synergy character, you actually have a damage set as well, but you have to only be playing solo. It's kind of the same deal that they have with satyrs. You know, their enchantments kind of change when they play in solo content to give them more damage, and then when they do party content, which is normally when they're going to be buffing, then it switches over to their buffing capacity. And so the same thing with this set. When you're solo, you have a DPS set. When you're in a party, though, you have these aura effects. And the problem is it removes those DPS effects as well. You literally have no damage whatsoever when you wear this set in a party. It is a full-blown aura synergy set. You do no damage, none whatsoever. A satyr will not help you. It does not matter how strong your satyr is. You do no damage. You know, they take off all the damage modifiers. They take off everything. Now, there is a lot of nuances about how the sets work, but they've already ran the numbers, and I got to give a shout out to Yong, which is now a content creator. Congratulations, by the way. Yong has done a translation on this set, so I'm going to leave a link to it in the description below. But I do want to give you guys just the one-page summary, okay, over what the conclusion is of these sets. Basically, for any situation, it benefits party damage for one of the synergies in the party to go aura and lose all of their damage. Lose all of it, okay? And if you only have one synergy in the party, yes, it is more beneficial for that synergy to just lose all their damage. It doesn't matter how much damage you do as a synergy character. It doesn't matter if you're a speed synergy or a real synergy, you know. I say real synergy, but, you know, one that actually does a lot more damage than the speed synergies, you know. It doesn't matter. If you're a synergy character and you wear this set, your party will, on average, do more damage in total. This is huge. It is so game-changing, not in a good way at all, okay? This set is undermining the entire game. Not only is this a viable strategy to actually playing the game, is to literally not play it, Not only is it a viable strategy, it is a more efficient strategy than actually playing the game. What the fuck? Just say it how it is, man. Potion synergies are on the rise, and they're gonna be more viable than ever before. Now, I'm not saying that they're utterly killing the idea of building deeps on your synergy. They are not doing that. You can still do, like I said, most of the content in this game is pretty easy anyway, but you can still bring your damage synergy. It's just the addition of this potential synergy set, complete potion synergy is what I call it, where you just go into a party and the only thing you're doing is applying a potion effect to the rest of your party. These potion synergies are going to be changing the whole meta of the game. I have complained up and down. Anybody who's shown up to the stream for even 5 seconds knows that I can't go 5 or 10 seconds without complaining about the idea of having, well, two things: buffers in this game, a beat 'em up game having buffers. Go figure. Name me another beat 'em up that has buffers in it, for Pete's sake. It's a beat 'em up game. But second of all, synergies are also stupid in my opinion as well, because the whole concept of synergy is to apply this potion effect to the rest of your party, and it's completely striating the player base and creating this forced meta for no reason. At the end of the day, synergies and deeps geared the same exact way, and they're play the same exact way. What they provide to the party is only arbitrary as determined by Neopol, whoever they decided wanted to give a 34% damage buff. And they've changed and nerfed their damage in accordance. Fact of the matter is, I hate the idea of synergies in general in DFO. But I hate doubly more the idea of literally playing a character for no other reason to be a potion for your party. They already have somebody in the party who does that. They call him Crusader or Enchantress. Okay? They buffers already do that, okay? Why do you need another person now? You need two people in the party are literally not playing the game. Dude, it doesn't make any sense. Why in the world, a beat 'em up game, to do the most optimal damage, you have to sacrifice two people in the party who can't even play the game properly, especially the synergy characters. You know, you might be able to commit yourself to say, okay, I'm just going to play Satyr, and Satyr just debuffs and buffs. That's it. Okay, fine. Now you're going to be changing that mindset to the synergies as well. You're going to be also having that option for the synergies as well. What the hell is the point of playing the game when you just have a set that makes you stronger for not playing it? What's next? Okay, you're going to give a damage set that gives you more damage if you don't use your skills? Like, you're just making the game a complete bot game, man. Like I said, complete undermining of the beat 'em up nature of building up your character, of, you know, mastering your character, of enjoying your character's skill set. Fuck all of that. Just go into your party and buff them up like the potion you are, and you're gonna be stronger for it, and you're gonna be more regarded for it too. Imagine going through all the trouble of you know, playing your character and leveling and doing all this content to all of a sudden just become a potion. The very concept is insulting. So why this is so meta changing, guys, is because synergies are now put on blast, okay? The whole idea of the sheer fact that we know now that these synergy effects are stronger than a geared synergy would be is just changing the whole meta. You now have to gear doubly as much as a DPS character would just to compete, right? Because they're just going to be like the Satyrs are today. Hey, are you going battle Satyr? Why don't you go buff Satyr? Hey, are you going battle synergy? Why don't you just go potion synergy? You know, same thing. Okay, they're going to be expecting you, because it's more viable, because it's more practical, because it's more useful to have a potion synergy than a real synergy. You're already creating this meta change where you now have to gear so much more higher on a synergy to warrant you not putting on that set. For what fucking reason? Because Neopol decided they wanted to have synergy, and Neopol decided to have a synergy effect that worked like this. They are intentionally fucking with the meta, and it's stupid. It makes no sense why they would ever try to force this idea. Why don't they balance the game around having damage sets? You know, kind of like we have been doing the entire cap. You know, get your damage set. If you're not a buff Satyr, get your damage set do damage. It's not that hard. So why are they trying to introduce this idea that they're forcing this meta for no reason? Just so we can have a synergy meta? Don't force a meta for no reason, dude. It's so simple. It doesn't make any sense. This whole idea of the meta of parties and synergies, seriously, their idea of it is so dumb. I just don't see how this will benefit anybody in any way. It's going to hurt us in the long run. We're going to be waiting longer for parties, longer for synergies. We're going to be waiting for synergies that are only potions. We're waiting for people to get in here and sacrifice their time as they just buff and just walk around enemies and just provide an R effect as they don't play the game. It is just doubly insulting. We're making it harder for real synergies, the ones who actually bother to gear up. We're making it harder for people to enjoy the game because now we got 2 people in the party who are literally not even playing their character. They're just there to provide a synergy or buff effect for the other people in the party to have fun. This culminates into my biggest problem with DFO, and this whole concept of having this party meta is so stupidly implemented in this game when it doesn't have to be, when the focus should be on action, gameplay, on the beat 'em up aspect. I'm gonna get heated on it every time, and this one really is, if they go through with it, really gonna put me at my limit with this whole concept, man. It really is. You could argue there are some good points about, oh, well, maybe your friend is just joining in. It's better that he comes in this synergy effect than just being a sandbag. And you might have a point there. You might actually have a point that, oh yeah, just get this set and you'll actually be helpful for the party and people might actually want to bring you. But the problem is, it better not be better than getting a full epic set and going full damage. It should just be the interim before you get that shit. Okay? It should not be comparable or better than what exists already in the game and completely change the meta and completely change what you should be doing. Hell no. But right now, as it exists, the conclusion is, yeah, one of you guys, if you have 2 synergies in your party, one of you guys should be wearing the synergy set. And unless you're really strong and you're the only synergy in the party, you better be wearing the set because that's the best set that you can get, and you're going to be doing more damage if you do that. Oh my God. Definitely the wrong direction, DFO, you're going in, and I'm not happy about that. But again, we're kind of early in the stages of this. We'll see how it plays out. Maybe the numbers change. Maybe they don't decide to release it and decide to release another gear set or something. I'd be okay with that, have this, it's just so, there's so much more going on with this than I think anything else in the game. I think you guys need to really be thinking about this because it's changing the game and it's not going to be for the better. I'll tell you that much. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. We are getting Thief in a couple days here. Thief Third Awakening. So if you guys are excited for that, well, hopefully you guys aren't simping too hard for Necro, but I'm going to try out my Rogue, and hopefully, I'm still waiting for news on this synergy stuff, because I'm telling you right now, guys, I am not happy at all with what I'm hearing so far. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you nights later.